Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Tennessee Fast and I'm coming to you from the library today. And today we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to do something a little bit different. I tell you, last week I went to a swap meet. It's a comic swap meet. That wasn't really a swap meet. It was more of just a comic sell meet. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And while I was there, I picked up a book. And it's a book I've never had. I've never cracked open, but I've always been looking for it. And they had it. Let me show you what we got. Now, that's right. Marvel Treasury Edition number 4, all the way back in 1975. Now, I haven't cracked this thing yet, but what I thought we'd do today is we do this together. So we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to go old school for the channel. We're going to flip it around. We're going to look down at the book. We're going to pop it open, and we're going to see what's in here. So you guys are going to be seeing this same time I am. This is going to be pretty weird. It's like time travel, but not really time travel. Odd. This is it. Now, the reason why I started the panel off with this already in shot, well, quite frankly, because I had to figure out the camera position because these things are so damn big. You end up wondering, how do I fit this in frame? Here, let me give you a size of content. What have I got in here? Okay, here we go. There's a reprint of Mad #1. That's a comic size. That's a Marvel Treasury Edition size. A little bit different, right? Looks a little odd. And by the way, yeah, I bought this because, quite frankly, I wanted to read Mad #1. And toss that over to the side. So, Marvel Treasury Edition, it's a big book, and we're going to go through this thing really raw. I have no idea what's in here. I haven't even Googled this to see what's inside this thing. So, it'll be a learning journey as we get through it together. Front cover is right here. You guys see it. Number 4, 1975, which, by the way, is the year I was born in. It's a great year. Good vintage for both books and people. Beautiful Barry Windsor-Smith in the front. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Now, I am going to show you guys something that I already know happens on this, and I already know about the book because, well, you'll see why in a second. Let's flip her over. Wow, yeah, so here you've got the full color version of that, totally blown out, finishing off the image with this wonderful Barry Windsor-Smith old school signature down here. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely incredible. And I got to tell you, when I picked this up, I was at the show. So I had a swapping. Let me tell you the story of this book. I'm at this comic swap meet, right? And I think I alluded to this earlier. It wasn't really so much of a swap meet as it was a comic buy meet. The comics industry, by the way, right now is soft, in case anybody out there is wondering. And this is as of today. What's today? The 6th of July, 2024. Yeah, it's a soft market right now. There is not a lot of buying activity going on, so pricing is depressing. Things are slowing down. I went to this swap meet, actually, with some books to trade. I was like, okay, well, I've got some books I can trade. I would like to, I've got some full runs of these and I don't need these anymore. So let's trade them over and get something that's actually part of my core collection, what I'm doing now. Every single vendor there. No, I'm not buying. It's a soft market, I'm not buying. And it's funny because they're turning around and they're trying to convince you to buy books from them. But at the same time, they're telling you it's a soft market. So really, am I actually buying anything worthwhile from you then? Really a precipitous argument to be made there. But that's economics. Let's just set that aside. This is what we got. Beautiful book. Love it. Let's pop her open here and see what we can see. So when I saw this thing in the box, because I was waiting to chat with a fellow there, and this thing was sitting there, I said, oh, Marvel Treasury Editions. So I said, what do we got over here? And that was, they didn't have any of the giant DC ones, but they had the Marvel ones. And all you could see was the spine. By the way, this is what a Marvel Treasury Edition spine looks like. Here, I'll flip it over so it's actually reading the right way here. So let's get the image there. So, $1.50, Conan the Barbarian, Marvel Treasury Edition. So I already have 2 of these, but I know there were 3 of them, right? So I'm thinking, what are the odds it's going to be the one I need? Yeah, probably pretty damn slim. So I pull it out, and it actually is the one that I need. And I was like, oh, well, I'll be dipped. Yeah, I'll buy that. Why not? And the best part about this was, while I was waiting to actually buy it, was looking at this back cover and just sitting there going agog. This is particularly with the old school Barry Windsor-Smith signature on. That's just cool. That's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. We're going to pop this bad boy open and see if we got it all in the same frame. Wow, we do. Look at that. Okay, so what do we got? The Informal History of the Thomas Smith Conan. Oh. Okay, that's pretty cool. So you got a little bit of an essay there written by Roy Thomas with Barry Smith. I like the self-portrait there. Barry Windsor-Smith. That's pretty cool. And what do we got on the inside here? So we got the Informal History of the Thomas Smith Conan, page 2. Number 2, apparently, I guess, is the inside of the front cover. Rogues in the House. Not Rouges in the House. Rogues. Which is actually misspelled here. Huh. Anyways, The Road to Aquilonia, map, Red Nails, okay, cool book, and Conan Unconquered Pinup. Special thanks to Glenn Lord for the use of the hall, and Robert E. Howard, without whom this book is under blank pages. Oh, it's 100 pages. That's pretty cool. All right, so there you go. So we got a nice little piece of work here. This actually looks to me, this image here, Looks to me like it's taken from the Barry Windsor Smith Frost Giant's Daughter adaptation, which I think was in Conan the Barbarian the comic. And I'm trying to remember. Well, the colorized version was the Conan the Barbarian comic, but it was also in, am I thinking Savage Tales? This is obviously a colorized edition. This to me looks like when he was just about to face off with, oh heck, the last survivor guy at the beginning of the story. So what do you got here? Rogues in the House, Conan in Chains, highly colored. Oh, this is Jenna, right? Is it Jenna? Am I remembering this correctly here? Come on, Native Kitai. Oh, come on. What is this girl's name? I'm sure it's Jenna. Because this is actually one of the few recurring characters that actually appears in Conan the Barbarian comics. It's female. And this is an early story. So Rogues in the House, as far as the adaptation goes here, this is a Barry Windsor Smith version of it. As right here, Barry Windsor Smith, the artist. And this Jenna character is the one that I believe sells him out at the beginning. And Conan then comes back. Yeah, it is Jenna. Ha! Jenna. It was, yeah. Jenna is the individual, by the way, that in the prior issue, he rescued from. It was that bat monster in the tower. And at the end of the day, the gold that he had stolen earlier that day, she had convinced him to turn into a golden heart so that he could smuggle it out of town. Listen, this is raw, guys. You're getting Tennessee Fat's knowledge of Conan, where this fits in the storyline. Quite cool. So anyways, this is Rogues in the House. This is the Barry Windsor Smith adaptation of this. I have actually already done the Robert E. Howard Battle Royale for this, and I will put a link for it up over here, for those of you who are interested. And in that, I go through this Marvel adaptation page by page, and we talk about why this fits or does not fit the Robert E. Howard original story. So there's no sense in going too far into this one. We can just get through the story. But this is the Rogues in the House story where we see Thak, I believe. Did he already beat Thak? No, Talons of Thak. Yeah, this is where he's going back in and he's going to... Yeah, Thak. Right there. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Rogues in the House, by the way, great story in case anybody has not read it. The whole interesting backstory of Thak is really phenomenal. And it makes you wonder who he actually is. And there's a lot of little threads to that Robert E. Howard story where they sort of hint at what Thak may have been. Because there's other parts of the Robert E. Howard mythos that are within the other Conan stories where they refer to these individuals. And it's funny because, Thak, it was actually one of the viewers of this channel, made the comment where they said, actually, when you think about it, Thak is actually very close to the Marviani, which are the tribe of semi-intelligent apes, the ones that raised Tarzan. Entirely valid point. Really cool story here. Let's get through it. Unfortunately, I think we all know how this goes because it's really the story of Conan. Conan wins, Thak dies, and he gets out. Here we get into the map. This is a beautiful map, actually. What do we got up here? The Barbarian is a long way to Marvel, yada, Savage Tales. Oh, isn't that neat? So it's walking through the actual path. Okay, I have never seen this in map format before. This is actually walking through the path that Conan takes in the stories that lead him to where he's at here. This is actually really cool because what you've got over here is a walkthrough of the chronological order, I guess, of what stories they were written in. That I guess follows, chronological not in the date of release, but I guess follows Conan's lifetime. Yeah, Frost Giant's Daughter, there you go, issue number 16. Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty cool. So now we know Frost Giant's Daughter was issue number 16 of Conan the Barbarian. But that's very neat. Very cool. And over here, of course, is where they write in the character of Red Sonja. Hyrcania? Yeah, I think that's where she came from. Hyrcania. Very cool. I'm going to have to actually take some more time to look at this map later because it's got Gunderland in here. Hyperborea, Ace, Cimmeria. Wow. Stygia. Wow, look how small Stygia is down here underneath Shem. That's funny because on the Tennessee Fats map that I got over there on the wall, it's, I guess it's that narrow? I guess. Very cool. Very, very, very neat. That's actually really, and drawn by Barry Windsor Smith. Very cool. All right, then what do we got here? You got Red Nails. Now, Red Nails, this is a colorized adaptation of Red Nails. I have reviewed both a colorized and a black and white version of Red Nails now. And what was the other version of Red Nails that I had where it was a giant colorized one? I cannot remember the name of that video. You know what? If I remember it, I'll put a link to it up here. If I don't, I won't. And this is Valeria from the Red Brotherhood. We all know the story of Red Nails. And again, I've actually done a battle royale for Red Nails. That's not necessarily one where I was talking about colorized versus non-colorized. But I will put a link for the Red Nails battle royale up over here. Now, this is actually one of the versions of Red Nails that I really like, because another version of this that I know I reviewed in the Robert E. Howard battle royales was the Ablaze version. Now, the Ablaze version was a very unique twist on this story. And it really got into some of the more visceral points within it. And it's funny because at this point in time, if you read the little one-page snippets at the back of the Dark Horse stories, where it's the adventures of Two Gun Bob, there's a very clear dialogue he's having where he's talking about the fact that he's trying to write in effectively more smut into his stories to bring in readers, to make them interesting. He says, I can write smut all damn day. And Red Nails was really the story where he was drawing that in to its fullest extent. And Barry Windsor Smith, in this particular adaptation of it, did not go quite down the road as far as, and Roy Thomas, by the way, didn't go as far down the road as the Samaria guys did, the Sumerian guys that Ablaze did. And I do actually believe, off the top of my head, this is a very good version of the story. I don't think that, the skull guy, that guy was so cool. Sorry, distracted. I do believe that this is actually one of the better versions that I think I've ever read of this story. It's really kind of cool. And the Ablaze one was a little out there. Now, I will say this, and I'm not going to comment further on the Robert E. Howard Battle Royale one, but I will say this. One of the things that I do remember from the Ablaze versions, although they were somewhat out there at times, they really did do their best to stick to the Robert E. Howard stories as they were. So, anyways, we're not going to go too far. Ooh, the heads in the room. The crawler. Yeah. This is such a cool story. Red Nails is one of those stories where, quite frankly, with a lot of people, like, they love it or they hate it. And it's a funny thing. There's very few people that you find in the middle. And most people do love it, but the people who are sort of like the meh group that you would normally have on a title, they hate the story. A lot of people think it's too long. A lot of people think it just got too far off the path. But I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. All in all, the story does make me chuckle. Ooh, here he is. He's going to come out and he's going to zap people. Yeah, see, he's zapping people. I love this guy. And the good part about this is you're seeing it in giant format here, which just really jumps off the page. It's always kind of weird to me. This guy's kind of drawn, when you're looking at him, he doesn't really have a jaw. Weird, right? Anyways, that's the Red Nails. And then you get to the end, a memorandum of Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan, Cull, and the Age of Dorito, as well as Bran McHorn, Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes, and a variety of other characters that we're really seeing come into the forefront now with the birth of the Howardverse that Titan Comics is going through. This is actually a very cool poster. So there are flaming arrows shooting at him, and this, I guess, is his shield just being blown apart in the background. Where did this come from? Did they mention it up in the front? Hold on. Red Nails, Conan Unconquered pinup. It doesn't really say, does it? Maybe that was created specifically for this piece. I don't recognize that out of a story. It's interesting. If any of you guys actually do recognize this out of a story, make a comment down there and below. Let me know where you've seen this before. This is clearly a Barry Windsor Smith piece. Another one right over here. Wow, fascinating. And this is the continuation of that story at the beginning, or the essay at the beginning, which was the informal history of the Thomas Smith Conan. Rouges in the house. Rouge. I don't know. Am I really reading this wrong? Is this Rogues? I'm not wrong on this, right? Right. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on that. Anyways, and then of course you get to the back cover. Very cool. Very interesting collection. So you do have in there the Rogues in the House, and you have in there Red Nails, which are two really, really good Robert E. Howard stories. So they didn't just reprint the classic, I won't say classic, they didn't reprint Marvel Conan stories. They reprinted Marvel adaptations of Robert E. Howard Conan stories in this. And this was number 4. This is the first of the Marvel Treasury Editions that was based off of Conan. Very cool. And for those of you who are wondering about the administration on this, the physics of it, so you've got a hard cardstock cover. You've got a whole bunch of newsprint pages on the inside, and they're stapled this way. So it's really kind of difficult. I mean, you could sit here and you could try to pry it open and really push it down. I would strongly advise against that. Strongly advise against that. Very cool book. Well, there you go. Now we've seen what's in this, and we did it together. Well, that was kind of cool. right, let's wrap this bad boy up and be done with it. I'd say this was an interesting one, and this was not one of our formalized videos that we normally do on the channel. This was literally just me opening this thing and going through it to see what was in it. And honestly, this is kind of more exciting for me as far as just a, hey, here's what's in a book. It's not a comic review, it's just a here's what's in here. Because this is an older book, it's 1975. This thing is as old as I am. And there are fewer and fewer of us around. So it's an odd one that most people are not going to get their hands on. Now, it's interesting. The stories that are in here have been reprinted numerous times. Red Nails is out there. You can get it in a special comic-sized adaptation. I'm fairly certain I remember seeing this in a larger scale version as well. It was colorless, and I cannot remember what that was, though. I wonder if it was a different Marvel Treasury Edition. I'm just not recollecting it. Rogues in the House. That has been reprinted on numerous occasions. You can get that in the Omnibus, Omnibuy, Omniboo. No. Somebody at Titan actually made a comment to this. It's Omnis? I don't even know. Anyways, you can get it in there. And you can also get the original books. It's also been done by Dark Horse. And did a Blaze do a version of that? Ooh, drawing a brain fart. You know, I don't think they did. Huh. I could be wrong on that as well. But what's interesting in here is actually going through it and seeing these larger scale newsprint versions that are reader copies. Like, most people do not have these. Like, this is clearly not a 9.8 copy. Like, this is not something that I'm going to go and get graded and what have you, and I'm going to make $1 bajillion on it. No, it's not going to happen. It's a fun book that I'm now going to read. And cracking this open and literally just going through it with you guys and sharing that was kind of fun, because you guys now get to see the OCD Rambling Tennessee Fats version that's in the back of my head that goes through these things the first time I'm generally flipping going through. What is this? And by the way, I did take the time to look it up, and that is totally Rouges in the House, not Rogues. So I was not off on that. The old man brain was working correctly on that one. That was in fact a typo, which is funny that it actually made it all the way through to production. And even though it's not in a normalized font and it's on literally a table of contents right in the first page. Kind of a fun thing to find in there. Weird. Well, everybody, that's the book. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you want to see more of these things where I'm cracking a book for the first time together and we're just yammering on our way through it, feel free, tippity down below. If you say to yourself, geez, that really wasn't that good. Well, sorry about that.